Hey everybody, this is FitSpaz Recovery. I'm Paul the producer. I'm here to help keep you fit, healthy, and sober. And if you're not fit, I want to help you get fit. But there's a lot I want to talk about today. My mind was awash with thought in the shower just now, a short bit ago. And you know what it is? I feel a little depressed about something. So I'm going to put some sad music on, okay? Just like this. Pretty. Alright, you guys, you know what? Today I watched something like, I think it was called a tribute to James Burrows. And this guy was instrumental in creating several very famous sitcoms. The most famous ones that matter to me are Taxi, Cheers, Frasier, Friends, and I think of all the ones they talked about, that's all I care about. He also did the Bang Theory, Nick and Grace, and one other one I can't remember the name of. I skipped over those parts anyway. And it's not like I'm not going to rehash the show. Let me tell you, today it's all about, you know what, I'm depressed. You know why I'm depressed? Because it was all about making me feel old. So you see these people, beautiful people, young in these TV shows, and when you go back and watch them again, it's like they captured that moment in time. So there that person is. They look amazing, and they just stay young forever when you watch the show. And so what bummed me out was seeing these people so long after they did the show, and how many of them aged so poorly. Not all of them. And this is not me being ageist. This is me saying, oh my God, we're all getting old. And so you know what this is tying into me? This is tying for us all into fitness. Why? Because I don't want to get old. I don't want to look old. And this is something I worry about for myself. And so I see a young... When Frasier Crane says he's 40 years old in a TV show, I look at him and I'm like, but I feel like you're much older than I am. And is that because I was introduced to this character as such a young kid? And Kelsey Grammer didn't age very poorly. My point is, I'm like, wow, I'm 42 and I feel young. I feel young in my mind, and aside from my hair falling out, I like how I look. And so fitness, as Tony Horton says, okay, listen to me. Tony Horton, I have heard him say that aging is for idiots. And so you know what? I agree. There are just several things that keep you looking young and feeling great. One of them is fitness. You have to have the right type of fitness. I think that's one of the things that rejuvenates the body. That's one of the ingredients of the fountain of youth. Eating right. If you just eat a bunch of junk food, I know you're going to age faster. So not being sedentary, getting good sleep is another one. And certain drugs, by golly, I know using certain drugs will age you faster than you would normally want. Smoking cigarettes, I've seen twins compared. One smoked cigarettes, one didn't. And you can just see after 20 years of smoking the damage that habit has caused. So what drug is your drug of choice? You pick it up and you do it a lot. Hey, do you really want to age prematurely? We got to have the long view of life to stay healthy, okay? And some people might say, well, I'm living good, and maybe that's true. And so, but everything in moderation. People smoking cigarettes, I'm talking about people who smoke like a pack or two a day. It's like you're just saying goodbye to your beauty and your youth, and not to mention the damage you're doing to your lungs and whatnot. My point is still that I want to stay young, and so food is medicine for me. And seeing these people get super ultra old, I was just like, oh no, because that is what is happening to all of us. It's not like I'm free of that happening, and so, but I do look at Tony Horton and I go, dude's almost 60 years old and his body's like ripped and shapely, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's what I want. So I want to keep up with my fitness. I want to stay young. I want to feel good. I think that the best fountain of youth we have is a combination of things. Like I said already, I'll keep repeating it until I'm blue in the face. Sleep. Getting enough sleep. food being medicine, not doing certain drugs excessively or at all if you can avoid it, and exercising, all of these things, the rejuvenating qualities, eating the right things, giving your body the right nutrients. God, it's so important, and I'll tell you what gives me some anguish, and this is a little different, and it's like a couple of these people, women in particular, they're held to such an unfairly high standard of beauty in our society. So like, hey, take advantage of this commodity, and when it's gone, by golly, at least you took advantage of it when you were young. So it really bothers me. It disturbs me when people go out and get excessive plastic surgery. And I'm a proponent of free choice. You want to go ahead and do that, fine. But here's where I agree with it. I'm fine with it up to a point. And here's the point. I will draw the line in the sand where you can know if you've done too much. So if you've done a procedure and I look at you and it's obvious you've done something and that you don't look natural, bam, that's the line in the sand right there. You shouldn't have done it. And it saddens me to see some people who've done that. It's like, it also tells me something about your mind. So we're better working we're better working on our mental state and our attitude and our perspective and approach toward life than we are going to a doctor and getting cut up. And, I want to have a full head of hair, but I have no choice but to accept the hand I am dealt. I would have rather have gone gray on top and had a full head of hair than go bald, but I'm not going to go to the doctor and do something drastic that looks unnatural. And so when you get a facelift, when you do whatever it is to your lips and you poof them out, the second you look unnatural, I'm like, oh my God, you made a mistake. And I don't want to point people out specifically because my point is not to just be mean to somebody. If I'm not going to point out at a celebrity and be mean to that person because I see it as insecurity. They would have been better off spending their money that they spent on plastic surgery, going to a doctor and working on themselves, feeling okay, accepting the process of getting older, but still doing what you can within natural means, wisely, intelligently, to stay young and vibrant. I mean, I get so bent out of shape when I see certain women go overboard with that. And I'm sorry if that's you. My intent is not to be mean. It's not to be sexist. Like I said, women are held to an unfair high standard. You know what's okay to me? If you want to stay young, they have lasers that if you just do slow maintenance over time, you can hit those fine lines and you can stay young. Another thing is stay fit, stay thin, because looking fit is a sign of youth and healthy. I've seen guys 25 years older than I am working their butt off in the gym, and I'm like, dude, this guy's ripped, and it looks great. It looks great as long as you can hold on to that. I say do it, go for it. And the same is true for women, but like, I've always looked younger than my age because I've always been just like a naturally skinny guy, and so we should always aspire to live healthily. And in my opinion, if that's your goal, if you're like, I want to live healthy, you're gonna show it. I've seen people, at 30 years old, it's like they got out of high school and all they did was sit on a couch and eat and eat and eat, and so they're not entirely looking that great. And you know what? They're probably not feeling great either. So you're gonna be more depressed when you let yourself go. You're going to not feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror. I mean, don't you want to hold on to it? Like I've said a million bazillion times in these shows, the last several shows, exercise is a form of empowerment. It's something you definitely have control over. And I know motivation's a problem for all kinds of people. At this point in my life, it just is not for me. You know what? I got up today. It's Monday, and I got up and I'm like, it's Monday. And I have this really extremely hard workout to do. But you know what? I did it. And it was extremely hard. Like I said, it's this thing called Total Body Hammer from this program Hammer and Chisel. And it kicked my butt. And I can get through all of it. And I even upped weight from last time. I'm not only approaching these workouts with determination. I'm like, I'm going to get better every single time I can, whether it's increasing the resistance or weights, and and I'm gonna feel good about it. But the point is, I hate the pull-ups. I mean, I'm not a fan of doing pull-ups, but I love that I can feel my lats, and so I keep doing them. The point is, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to get a reward in life, and that goes with so many things. You want to look young? It is work to look young, and I'm not talking about going to a doctor and having them chop your face up. Some people out there, I consider myself one of them, are just blessed genetically with like aging gracefully, and so far I am. I mean, knock on wood. I hope that that never changes. I'm blessed in that way. Do you realize that? That's a blessing for me. Some people, you can't help it. You look at a lady like Mary Lou Henner, who was on Taxi in the late 70s as a young woman, and she has aged so beautifully and gracefully. I am like awestruck looking at how great that lady looks. And then there are people I don't want to mention by name. You just finished up your show run in 2003, 2004. You were young as hell then, and you look like hell because you decided to go to the plastic surgeon and have them cut your face all up. You know what? I honestly think that people doing drugs, they are trying to bury those emotional issues they're having. They're trying to fog it up and forget about emotional issues they have. Maybe that date back to when they were a child or a teenager. Who knows when in their life they've experienced trauma or this. It's like, especially when I see a beautiful woman go and ruin her face, I'm like, what the hell happened to you emotionally that you think you had to go and do this? This is a shame, and what I'm saying is love yourself, actually, for who you are. And I want to encourage women to remember in my opinion, you will look your best if you don't cross that natural threshold. I'm not saying don't do anything. Botox, I hate Botox. Shame on Botox! And I still say it's a personal free choice. But it's like, it's highlighting the physicality of the individual, and I don't think it looks good. It looks like you're poofy or bloated. It looks like you're taking prednisone, like a steroid, and you're swelling up and you're retaining water. It is not what you should do to stay young. And so the reason I bring up emotions, I'm tying it into the aspect of people doing drugs too to feel better. You get addicted to plastic surgery. You look at someone like Michael Jackson, who just could not be happy with the way he looked. And if he had never done anything, in my opinion, I would have been like, hey, that's a good looking guy there. And so people get addicted to the craziest stuff. You're addicted to food, you're addicted to meth, you're addicted to alcohol, and it all originates in this basis of insecurity. And the best ways to treat it are the ways I've already mentioned. I'm like a broken record today. Food is medicine. Sleep is medicine and good for you, rejuvenating. And exercise is rejuvenating for you. Not getting too much sun. So like, make wise choices along those lines, and remember that if you go all freak face, I think you're only gonna like I call it Michael Jackson face. It's not very nice, but it's like, I think you're gonna just develop more emotional issues when you try to solve things the wrong way. And like I said, I'm not judging everybody, and I'm not saying there aren't things that are a good idea. Someone totally deformed can benefit from plastic surgery. Kids who get hair lips fixed, it's like, by all means do that, because if you stand out from the norm as a freak show, but there's something simple you can do to fix it, that's totally different from somebody who's just insecure about getting older. And you know what? I'm insecure about getting older. I'm watching these people and I'm like, oh no, Shelley Long, what the hell? She looks decent. She's looking okay. But I'm like, why do we get old and seeing you in the young picture and then, oh my God, what the heck? I haven't seen you since then and you've aged so much. So that creates insecurity in me. I'm like, well, what the devil am I going to look like? And so getting to a better point instead of being redundant, it's like the things I mentioned, we have control over certain things. Things like fitness. I just love the fitness example because it's so empowering. You have control over it. You build confidence doing it. And you know, there are some vapid people who are just like, I'm just on this treadmill staying thin so I can look good. Beyond just looking good and the benefit you might get in the short run, into the long run to some extent, staying thin, don't you want to feel good? Don't you want to feel confident? I can't think of one thing better to build confidence and to push away any potential of becoming depressed than fitness. You mean you'd rather take Prozac? You'd rather sit there and take Prozac than get up on a treadmill? And I'm not saying people don't have problems. Certain people, it's appropriate for them because they have certain issues and they need some kind of boost, some kind of leg up. I'm not a doctor. I'm just operating from a philosophical vantage point. But like the fitness, man, just walking. It's as simple as walking. I'm not saying you have to lift weights. You don't have to be the biggest person in the gym, the tonest person in the gym. Just do enough to feel good. You don't have to kill yourself in a workout like I did earlier today. And I'm obviously, I didn't really literally kill myself. I'm here and I'm fine. I'm just saying you have to pick enough to feel good. And that's why I point out walking. It's so easy. I put music in my ears and I have a dynamic enough mind to walk down the street and around the lake for half an hour. And I'm entertained and I'm at peace personally. And I know that I'm feeling better emotionally from doing it. So, fitness solves so many problems. It's like a form of medicine mentally, spiritually, physically, in and of itself. So why wouldn't people do it? Why? I mean, so I'm not going to get into excuses. People have excuses. They're like, oh, I'm in pain. But let me tell you something. A lot of people are in pain because they are sedentary and they're sitting there all the time. So if you move around, you're going to feel better. Those pains are going to go away. Let me tell you something. A couple years ago, before I started getting involved with fitness again, and then I started going to Kung Fu, and then I started doing the Beachbody workouts, I was experiencing severe physical pain sometimes, nerve pinches, especially in my lower back. And by golly, if the last 2 years haven't been the least painful years of my adult life since I started getting moving, I don't have those pinched nerves anymore. So something rejuvenated, something loosened up because I'm getting up and moving the body, making the body flow. Every time you get the blood flowing, you're getting nutrients to every little bit of tissue. You're healing. You're doing something positive for yourself. What are the excuses? I hear so many people saying, I can't do it because no. No, actually, that's your excuse because, yeah, you're in pain. But if you got in better shape, that would be the medicine to solve that pain. And so people go to the doctor. They spend a fortune trying to solve certain problems by popping pills. Oh, give me a pill that will make me not feel the pain. You'd rather pay for a pill. You'd rather go to the doctor. You'd rather be, in a class of people who are physically challenged. And God knows there are people out there with legitimate concerns. I'm talking about people. The reason you have pain is because you're inactive. So get up and do something. I'm calling you out. It's a specific class of people. The reason you have issues is because you sit like a lump on a log. You're a couch potato eating Twinkies all day. And I've been there. I've done that. I've experienced the pain from not doing what I'm supposed to do to stay healthy. And right now I'm so happy to be in this mode in life, feeling like FitSpaz is a perfect purpose for me to motivate myself and try and resonate with people. Do you see something in me that reminds you of yourself? I'm not talking to people out there who just because the nature of life, sample poolings of people, you're like, oh, Paul's a lame-o, he's annoying. I'm not talking to you people. You're not my lifers. I'm looking for people who, for whatever reason, I am who I am and it resonates with you. Do you realize whatever we have in common is that if I can do this, if there's any doubt in your mind you can do it, you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm not wrong sometimes. Never mind that. My point is, get up and do something. I really want this for people. I've been feeling like I want to help people. And the first step for me to be able to successfully do that and build on this, what I'm doing right now, I really believe that The answer to that is me helping myself first, and not in a selfish way. My dad has this saying he's always said to me all my life: I want to help you, but I want to see you help yourself first. And have you heard the expression, help those who help themselves? I am helping myself because I believe that is what best enables me to help you change in your life. And so whether it's drug use, whether it's being lazy or complacent, whatever, I'm trying to stir you emotionally. That's what this is about. I want to be the catalyst for your snap. I want people out there to say, holy crap, Paul, something you said was what made me get off my butt and start doing it. So start doing it. Does this help you? Because good. If it helps you and I'm not in a position to help you in any other way, that's fantastic. If this was a catalyst for change in your life, I want to help more. If you contact me, if you send me a message, paul@fitspazradio.com. Tell me about yourself. What are your goals? Like, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? Do you want to send me a picture of how you look? I might be able to suggest something you can do to get out of your funk in your life, whether it's you're drinking too much, you're eating too much, you're sitting there complacent too much. I will give you suggestions. I will motivate you. But the ultimate person who controls one's own destiny, it's you. I have control over what I have. I'm keeping my side of the street clean. You got to keep your side of the street clean. You got to do what you can do for yourself. And I want you to, okay? I'm not going to be like, oh, Paul, you're so great. But I would feel great if I help some people sort their lives out, some of these very specific issues with fitness and health. And I don't want people to be frightened and get old, or be frightened of getting old when they can do something about it. In the words of Tony Horton, once again, aging is for idiots. If that offends you, what I'm saying, turn that mirror on yourself and start asking yourself, why would that offend you? Do you know what I mean? Because we're not just talking about naturally getting old is stupid. We're talking about rapidly unnecessarily deteriorating physically and mentally. It's something you don't have to do. And so I can't believe I used to drink so much. And now my whole philosophy is like, I want to feel as good as I can, as I absolutely possibly can, in all the natural positive ways I can. So like, I hope I don't just drop dead of a heart attack one day. It's going to be like, oh, well, that's ironic. This guy's talking about health and he just plopped dead. You know, I can't help the heart defect I might have and not know about. I think I'm okay because I pay attention to my body. Let me end by saying this. Pay attention to your body if something's wrong. If you want to start exercising but you're afraid something's wrong, pay attention to that. Chest pains. I don't know necessarily what. Go to the doctor. Ask their advice too if you don't trust me. Get a physical checkup to make sure you're ready to get going. But like, God, your life will be so much better if you just get going in these things. You've just got to trust me. I'm not lying to you. There's nothing I've said that's dishonest. I don't want to get old. Some people, I saw that today on TV, the James Burrows Tribute, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to get old. I do not. So let me just conclude by saying I'm Paul from FitSpaz. I want to help you get fit. I want to help you be healthy and stay sober. So if you want help and you want to touch base with me personally, send a message to paul@fitspaz.com. Also send a message to that email if you want to get on here as a guest and talk to me. I'll hook it up. We'll talk. We'll share your journey, your story with the world. And together, maybe we can help even more and more people. If you like this, by all means, please share it with people so I can pick up more listeners, more followers, build this team, FitSpaz, so that something good can come of it. For all of us. I want everybody to have a better life, okay? Be happier, be more fit, be more healthy, be financially more secure, be a better family member, brother, spouse, husband, wife, daughter, brother, I said brother, cousin, relative, friend, all of the above in life, okay? That comes straight from the heart. I swear to God. I'm not baloney when I say that. So follow the social media by going to the website, fitspaz.com. I want to conclude by saying once again, music provided by Kevin MacLeod. Go to incompetech.com. Thank you for your music, and I will catch you next time, people. Listen to what I say. Get up, move. Let's do it. Come on. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Thou art more capable than you think.